Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our June Keys penguin habitat and the last feeding of the day for our penguins. Patsy got a herring, and Patsy got another herring. Now, if you notice, the penguins aren't wanting to stay up on deck very much, except for these three, and these three are our juveniles, so it could be just because they do not know better. They're in the migration mode right now, and normally that's when all the penguins would stay in the water, swimming and foraging for food. Well, our penguins need to come up on deck because, as you can tell, I have Kelly here marking down what they're eating. So I'm calling out to her who has what. Now, we also have some interlopers. We have a white snowy egret and we have a seagull. Now, the seagull should be doing my job. And then the egret, and they're going to be going off. There we go. Now, that seagull's thinking that he's going to get something for it. He's most likely not. What we try to do is keep the food that we have for our penguins. Here comes Matson. You can see just how quickly he comes up because he doesn't want to spend a lot of time up on deck. You want one more, buddy? And that was 4 for Matson. Now, that's simply just water in there that we're squirting at the birds, but it's just the act of the squirt. You might use it for cats or dogs at home. It's the same principle. We don't want them here trying to take the food out, and it's not necessarily that we don't want them to have food. It's when they try to grab the food, they're actually trying to grab it from the penguins themselves, and they have sharp beaks, and it can be damaging to the penguin's eyes. So that was Cleo, who just got a herring. And another herring. And if you notice, they're swallowing that food whole. All of our penguins do that. Come on, whatever, it's okay. Now, whatever is our oldest bird, and she's our most timid. Here comes Astaire. You can see the different ways that they approach. Astaire kind of goes in and he's a grab and go kind of boy. Come on, Astaire. Come on. You're okay. There's nobody here. Now, the big thing is if they hear sound, any type of noise can be disruptive to the penguins. And so they will take that as a threat. Now, that threat can be just kind of perceived, or it could be real. And it doesn't matter to them because as long as one bird perceives a threat, all of them will perceive a threat. So things like the trash can going off or anything like that can actually make our birds scared. And it's because they're in this migratory phase that this happens. Andy got a herring. Come on, Avery. Avery got a herring. Whatever got a capelin. Whoops. And I'm just going to go off mic just for a quick second. So you'll notice that when they're feeding, they can become, especially on deck, they get very, very hesitant and looking around. You can see that they're not, and just playing patty cake. The clapping they're hearing, they're not coming up. It's perfectly fine to play patty cake, but it's just, you can actually see how the reaction when they start hearing that clap, because it's something that they don't hear normally, and something that's not normal to them is perceived threat. And it's very interesting to learn the dynamics of the penguins. You'll see them come up. How's Andy? Oh, this is Lily. So I have one last herring, and so I'm asking Kelly who's had what, because we try to distribute the food. They get 11 kilos of herring a day and 2 kilos of capelin, and not everybody likes capelin. But Lily sometimes is a bit of a bully. She guards, she may not want the food, but she just doesn't want anybody else. You can see her kind of chase after. So we also have the seagull up top. So that is also causing a bit of dismay amongst our penguins. We have 23 penguins, 20 adults and 3 juveniles. The juveniles were all hatched in May. Now, our 3 juveniles' names, they're not up on the board yet because we just finalized their names. We have Cleo, who is gray, black, brown. We have Wally, who's in front of me, who is gray, blue, orange. And then we have Dee over there, named for Dee Boersma, who is gray, blue, red. Now, each of those color codes means something. It's a specific number that tells us who they are. It's almost like a social security number. And all North American penguins, Magellanic penguins, have a certain number, because we will often switch birds with other facilities to make sure that the genetic diversity within our North American colony is very strong. Come on, Paddles. Last one's on, has your name on it. Good girl. Almost, but not on my watch. I should have like holsters with these things. You just go, phew. But you can see just how sneaky these wild birds are. A lot of times we will have up to 3 or 4 snowy egrets over by our shorebird area trying to figure out how to get in. And a lot of times we have some members coming over and asking, hey, you guys, you have some birds that are out of your exhibit. And we're like, no, those are birds that are trying to get into our exhibit. They have it really lucky in there. Multiple feeds. All right, let's try this again. You're not going to win, I promise. Now, like I was saying, we offer about 13 kilos of food a day, which roughly is around 28 pounds of food every day for our penguins. Now, there are some days that the bucket still has a lot of food in it. Some days I have nothing left in here. So it depends. And just like penguins out in the wild, these birds don't normally eat every day. So it depends on time of year. It depends on what they did yesterday. Come on, Paddles. Let's go. Good girl, all the way. Now, Paddles is one of the birds that came to us from another facility. So she tends to be a little bit more hesitant. I'm going to pass over my, hold off on doing anything. That bird is ready. All right, Dee, you want one? All right, so Dee got the last herring. Now, everything that we feed out is restaurant quality. You can see that when the penguin bit into this one, it lost its head. That immediately means that I don't feed that out. It's a perfectly good fish, but because of the problem, and I made that sound and look what just happened. You would think they would be used to that one. The quality of the fish, we hand sort everything that goes into our animal's mouth. And we have a saying, if in doubt, toss it out. So if something doesn't look right, if an eye looks a little cloudy, or if the gills don't look all that great, we will not feed out that fish. We go through quite a bit of fish here. Just for our penguins and our marine mammals, we break out close to close to 150, 200 pounds of fish a day for all of our animals. These guys, especially the marine mammals, can eat quite a bit. Our sea otters are the most expensive animal here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. To feed one otter is around $20,000. Everything they get, including these guys, is restaurant quality. So if you happen to purchase pickled herring at a deli, we get the same herring. I'm not a fan of herring. I feed it to my animals, but this is the same high quality food that you would get at any deli or anything like that. So it's a really, really healthy food for our penguins. We also give them vitamins every day just to make sure, because when you do freeze food, it loses some nutrients. So we try to augment that by giving them some vitamins that are precisely made for fish-eating birds. We have vitamins for fish-eating mammals. We have vitamins for herbivorous fish. Anything you can think of, they make a vitamin, a specialty vitamin. And we make sure that all of our animals have the highest quality care that we can possibly give. A lot of times people wonder about our penguins and where's the ice. Well, these penguins are temperate penguins, meaning that they like this weather that we're having right now. They do get a little spooked when it comes to the winds. And that's what happens last night. We had really windy weather. So this morning they were still kind of on edge. So the feeding was a little light, but we did get everybody. The one thing that we do is make sure we kind of track who's getting what and how much, just so we can really watch their intake, making sure that every animal is getting enough food. And that's why I'll go talk with Kelly when we're getting down to the last pieces of food, who has what. And normally the smaller birds will only eat like 3 to 4 herring, whatever for the size of bird she is. She is our smallest bird. She can put away 20 to 30 capelin, 26 capelin today. I don't know where she puts it. I think she has a hollow wings and hollow legs because the size of that bird, you look at her going, I can't understand how you can do that. And during migration time, during molt, they can actually, she can put away 50 to 60 pieces of capelin, which is just unreal to me. Well, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We are done with the feeding. I would like to say thank you all for coming to the aquarium, because your admission does help us take care of all of our animals. So for myself, Kelly, and all of our penguins, we hope you enjoy your day here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, and we hope to see you again real soon.